Distinguished guests, good morning. Welcome to the last day of the 2022 GHSA Ministerial meeting in Seoul. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lee Seung-hee, MC of today's event. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us despite the early hours. This event is co-organized by Korea's GHSA, Ministry of Health and Welfare, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. On behalf of the organizers, I thank you for gracing us with your presence. The meeting was organized to pool global wisdom to overcome COVID-19 and to prepare for and respond to future health threats. Today is the last day of the three-day event, which began 2 days ago. And the event took place here in Grand Hyatt, Seoul. Today is the last day. Thank you very much for staying until the very end of the three-day meeting. Before we begin the event, I would like to make some housekeeping announcements. Simultaneous interpretation is provided throughout the event. Please set your receivers on channel 1 for Korean and channel 2 for English.
We have a very important housekeeping announcement that we would like to provide simultaneous interpretation throughout the sessions. For those who need any translation service, please use your receivers on your tables, channel 1 for Korean and channel 2 for English. Thank you very much for your kind cooperation. 네, 여러분 그럼 지금부터
Then we will now begin the 2022 GHSA Ministerial meeting. Before we kickstart the meeting, let us watch a video prepared by the Secretariat. And the topic of the video is the health security for the future. Please turn your attention to the screen.
Coronavirus officially hitting the U.S. Here's what we know.
We have a new name for the coronavirus. The World Health Organization has officially called it COVID-19.
코로나와 같이 인류 전체를 위협하는 보건 위기는 어느 한 국가나 몇몇 나라들만의 참여로 해결할 수 없습니다. 보다 많은 나라들이 연대하고 협력한다면 여러 위기를 잘 헤쳐나가리라 생각합니다. 글로벌 보건 안보 구상에도 적극 참여함으로써 국가 간 공조 체제 강화에 함께 하겠습니다.
네, 여러분 따뜻한 박수 보내주시기
Please
부탁드리겠습니다.
give a big hand.
네, 고맙습니다.
Thank you very
뜻깊은 영상 함께
much.
만나보셨는데요.
We just saw a video about health security. Thank you very much for your efforts in strengthening global health security. Now we will hear some speeches. First and foremost, Minister Jo Kyu-hong of Health and Welfare of the Republic of Korea will give the opening speech. Please give the minister a big hand.
Honorable delegates, distinguished guests, it is a great pleasure to meet you. After almost 3 years since the outbreak of COVID-19, the world is still not free from the threats posed by the pandemic. Disease threats such as monkeypox or Ebola continue to appear as well. We are facing dual challenges of overcoming the current health security crisis as well as preparing for potential crises in the future. However, a crisis can be turned into an opportunity. We have realized how important health security is going through the pandemic. It is that we have opened a window of opportunity to gather all our strengths and to build a stronger global health security system. I find it very meaningful that the Republic of Korea is hosting the Global Health Security Agenda Ministerial meeting in Seoul for the second time at this critical moment. We are joined by delegates from almost 40 nations and more than 10 international organizations who are here to share their experience and wisdom. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the delegations and distinguished guests for your participation. I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to Minister Park Jin of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Commissioner Kyung-Nan Baek of the Korean Disease Control and Prevention Agency for your great effort for successful hosting of this GHSA meeting in Seoul. And I also would like to express sincere gratitude to Deputy Prime Minister Lee Ju-ho for attending and conveying presidential congratulatory speech. Honorable delegates, distinguished guests, GHSA was launched upon a recognition that no country can address health threats alone. With GHSA, a global cooperation system, we have striven to make sure that nations abide by international health regulations and enhance their capabilities to address infectious diseases in order to maintain health security for all. Also, we are seeing a great progress by successfully operating the 9 action plans to prevent, detect, and respond to infectious disease. I am truly grateful for the effort and commitment made by each member country in the progress, and especially for the leadership of the US and Italy. I can proudly say that the Republic of Korea has addressed the COVID-19 pandemic successfully with its enhanced capabilities to respond to infectious disease and active international cooperation through GHSA. The case of Korea shows how important interdisciplinary and international cooperation is for strengthening health security. Now is the time to review our achievement through GHSA so far and to gather our strength to keep it up. We have to enhance our capabilities to prevent, detect, and respond to potential pandemics in the future, and guarantee equity in medical countermeasures such as a vaccine. At the same time, we have to share information swiftly and expand the healthcare capacity. Also, all of this must be done under close cross-border collaboration. Korea will continue its active contribution to GHSA going forward to carry out the important tasks in front of us together, especially with the establishment of a global health security coordination office. Korea will support successful operation of GHSA. I kindly ask for your continued interest and support. Honorable delegates, distinguished guests, in this ministerial meeting today, we will declare the extension of GHSA into its third phase from 2024 to 2028 and present new Seoul Declaration that contains our vision going forward. New Seoul Declaration is the symbol of our collective commitment to maintaining health security together through enhancing interdisciplinary and multilateral cooperation. Recognize that all of us are responsible for the crisis caused by an infectious disease. Our commitment today will build an even safer world tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Minister, for that kind remarks. You talked about the importance of strengthening health security. As the Minister just mentioned, we need to join forces in solidarity and learn from the lessons of COVID-19. And I hope that we can all go back to normalcy. Thank you very much, Minister.
이어서는 대한민국 외교부 장관님의
Following that, we would like to invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Park Jin, to the stage. Please welcome him with a big hand.
Good morning, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7th Global Health Security Agenda Ministerial meeting. I'm pleased to co-host this meeting with the Minister of Health and Welfare, Honorable Cho Kyu-hong, and Commissioner Baek Young-nan of the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency. And I wish to thank Deputy Prime Minister Lee Joo-ho, who will be reading the statement on behalf of President Yoon Suk-yeol. Today, we meet at a time of cautious optimism that the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic may be finally behind us. Over the past 3 years, we learned the hard way just how disruptive a pandemic can be. The world was upended in its entirety, and countless lives were lost and livelihoods shattered. In response, since 2014, GHSA has been at the forefront in helping countries to build the capacities to prevent, detect, and to respond to health threats. Despite such efforts, the world proved woefully underprepared for the devastation that followed. Now, based on the painful lessons, our immediate task should be to strengthen preparedness against future health threats. Let me suggest 3 priorities in this regard. First, we must continue to invest in strengthening national health systems, ranging from early warning systems, local manufacturing capabilities, to a well-trained health workforce. On our part, Korea will fulfill our commitment to provide $200 million during the second phase of GHSA to assist partner countries build the necessary capabilities. Thank you. We will also help countries manufacture critical medical countermeasures, including through the WHO Global Biomanufacturing Training Hub that was set up in Korea this year. Second, reforms must be urgently undertaken to strengthen global governance and financing mechanisms. In this regard, Korea welcomes the launch of the Pandemic Fund during the G20 Bali Summit, to which we pledged $30 million. GHSA should closely coordinate with the Pandemic Fund to close the critical gaps in core capacities. Lastly, the world must shape a holistic health ecosystem that facilitates collective and coordinated action across all stakeholders. As WHO Director General Tedros said, the time has come to work together to disparate strands of global health security into an unbreakable chain. The ACT Accelerator has set a new standard in this regard by supporting one of the most coordinated global efforts to fight a pandemic. And that is why we pledged $300 million to this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for the next phase of GHSA, we must capitalize on the hard-won momentum and innovations created in fighting COVID-19. Let us remember that we can prevent the next pandemic only if we act now. And rest assured that Korea, in our aspiration to be a global pivotal state, will play our part to promote a safer, healthier world. Thank you.
네, 고맙습니다.
Yes, thank you very much for that kind remarks. You talked about post-COVID era, the goal of the GHSA and its future mission. And you said that we need to create a safer and a more equitable world. Next, we will hear the congratulatory remark The President of the Republic of Korea was scheduled to deliver the speech, but an urgent matter came up, so Deputy Minister Lee Joo-ho will read the speech on the President's behalf. Please give him a big hand. Welcome to the 2022 GHSA Ministerial meeting in Seoul. Ministers of health from home and abroad, government officials, international organizations, NGOs, private sector companies, and academia, experts, welcome to Seoul. It is very meaningful that we are gathered here to discuss how we can cooperate to overcome health threats. In 2014, we came to realize that health threat can escalate into a security threat. To that end, we launched the Global Health Security Agenda. From 2020, for almost 3 years, we endured COVID-19, and the global community exerted all possible efforts to protect the lives of the people and promote safety. Health threat is not confined to a single country, and no country can tackle it alone. All countries should come together in solidarity, and only then global citizens can enjoy freedom in its true sense, free from health threats. And the international community must join forces to strengthen capacity to respond to infectious diseases. The GHSA Ministerial meeting served as a joint vision, a platform to co-establish a joint vision and bolster solidarity to define global health. And the government of the Republic of Korea is also making its utmost efforts to assist its people with human and material resources. Since the launch of the new administration, the government has been expanding ODA in healthcare. It committed more than $400 million in Act A initiative, the Global Fund, to tackle the 3 of the world's largest infectious diseases, and the World Bank's FIF. And at the same time, the government also committed over $200 million from 2021 to 2025 for the GHSA ministerial meeting. The government is also accelerating efforts to the R&D of COVID treatments and vaccines. Korea succeeded in the development of COVID-19 vaccines and will supply the vaccines to the countries in need, thereby promoting fair access to vaccines. At the same time, it will promote technology exchanges and talent nurturing. Korea was selected as the WHO Global Bio-Manpower Nurturing Hub. And the country, to that end, will enhance capacity and nurture bio-manpower to effectively fight infectious diseases. Distinguished delegates, experts, to overcome the common health threats facing humans, the international community must pool wisdom and tackle the crisis together. In the spirit of solidarity, Korea will join the international community's efforts in strengthening the global health framework and architecture. And I truly hope to see the leaders pooling wisdom in this ministerial meeting. And I hope that we share experiences in overcoming infectious diseases so that we can take our response capacity to the next level. And I hope that by doing so, we can create a world free from health threats. Once again, I welcome you all to Korea and I wish you health and happiness. Thank you. November 30th, 2022, President of the Republic of Korea, Yoon Sung-yeol.
네, 고맙습니다.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to thank once again the
미래 감염병 대응과 또
who read the prepared speech. And so he talked about the importance of cooperation to be prepared for a future pandemic. Once again, I would like to thank the President for his word. Next, we would like to hear from the Director General of WHO, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus.
Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends, annyeonghaseyo. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us all many painful lessons. Building on those lessons, WHO has made 10 key proposals for an enhanced global health security architecture with stronger governance, stronger financing, stronger systems and tools, and a stronger WHO at its center. Overarching these recommendations is a new legally binding international accord which WHO member states are now negotiating, complemented by targeted amendments to the international health regulations. To support the development of strong and effective national action plans, WHO has developed the Universal Health and Preparedness Review, which is now being piloted in 4 countries. Joint external evaluations will also continue to play an important role, and we thank the Global Health Security Agenda for its strong support for the updated 3rd edition of the JEE. I applaud the commitments countries have made to GHSA and in particular the Republic of Korea for its engagement. WHO is committed to working closely with GHSA to better prepare countries for future health emergencies. Thank you all for your commitment to a healthier, safer, and fairer future for all countries. I thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Secretary General, for that kind remarks. He talked about what we need to do, the actions that we need to take, and the role of the GHSA to overcome health threats. Thank you very much. Next, we'll move on to the keynote speech. Commissioner Baek Kyung-lan of the KDCA will now give the keynote speech. Please give her a big hand. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Baek Kyung-lan. I'm the commissioner of the KDCA here in Korea. Distinguished members of the GHSA and delegates of the international organizations and NGOs serving as permanent advisors, dear delegates from the embassies in Korea, distinguished guests from home and abroad, welcome to the 2022 GHSA Ministerial meeting in Seoul. Thank you for traveling to Seoul to attend the meeting. As the world endured an unprecedented infectious disease crisis called COVID-19, all countries learned the brutal lesson that health security is of utmost importance. We are here to discuss measures to respond to emerging health security threats, and I am glad to host this important meeting here in Korea. The GHSA, which was created in February 2014, is now gearing up for another 5-year phase. Since 2014, the GHSA has grown from 47 countries to include 71 countries, and from 9 to 10 international organizations, and NGOs are also actively engaged in the initiative. The growth of the GHSA in depth and scope is evidence to the important role the GHSA is playing to safeguard the humanity and secure health security for all. As you know, health threats are no longer limited to one country or sector. As we experienced with the COVID-19 pandemic, we learned this the hard way. This means that our efforts and solidarity must go beyond borders and sectors. To this end, the GHSA is indeed an essential and effective tool to respond to various elements that threaten health security, emerging, re-emerging, and mutation-induced infectious diseases, zoonotic diseases, AMRs, and bioterrorism. The GHSA brings together many member countries across various continents with varying levels of economic growth and is joined by international organizations committed to health, livestock, wild animals, food, and nuclear. As such, the GHSA is the only international consultative body that goes beyond borders and sectors. Together with the WHO, the GHSA provided guidelines to its member countries to help them strengthen their national capacity to address infectious diseases and has developed JEE to encourage the implementation of IHR at the national level. Thanks to these efforts, the international community widely recognized that an infectious disease threat is not simply a health crisis, but can escalate into a national security crisis. At the same time, the importance of cooperation, solidarity, and communication at an international level was confirmed. We are now nearing the end of the acute phase of COVID-19, which we call public health emergency. Although the coronavirus is still mutating, with about 200,000 global daily cases being reported, the world is gearing up to return to normalcy based on the experience of the past 3 years. But now is also the time to build strategies to prepare for future pandemics. To this end, I would like to give you 4 take-home messages. First and foremost, to prepare for and respond to future infectious disease emergencies, surveillance strategies for early detection, rapid diagnosis, and epidemiological investigation, as well as vaccine and treatment development, require significant financial investment. Second, in preparing for and responding to EID pandemics, non-pharmacological policies such as LPs and social distancing must be in place, together with effective crisis communication plans to boost policy acceptance. Thirdly, countries shouldn't be the only ones cooperating. Cooperation between various stakeholders, including international organizations, NGOs, and the private sector is necessary. Also, how to build and sustain partnerships should be discussed in detail. Lastly, as we experienced with COVID-19, in responding to national and global infectious diseases, we must develop specific plans to mobilize, distribute, and use resources efficiently on a global level and to coordinate policies between countries. Distinguished members of the GHSA, international organizations and NGOs, dear delegates from the foreign embassies in Korea, distinguished guests from home and abroad, to achieve the goals, it is necessary that we faithfully fulfill the remaining tasks and leverage the strengths of the GHSA to carry out the activities with short and long-term projects. I believe that the GHSA member countries and organizations gathered here today all agree that the third phase of the GHSA from 2024 to 2028 requires bolder activities and tools to verify performance and results. Korea overcame the COVID-19 pandemic with solidarity and cooperation. Building on this experience, the country will actively participate in the international community's efforts to strengthen global health security capacity, also to prevent, detect, and respond to future pandemics. Korea will not only share its experience and lessons with other countries, but also transfer its surveillance know-hows, diagnostic technologies, and vaccination strategies to contribute to fair access to care services. In addition, as a GHSA member, Korea will spare no technical support to help other countries strengthen their healthcare system and develop policies to respond to infectious diseases. To bring this idea to life, Korea plans to open a tentatively named GHS Coordination Office here in Seoul. To this end, we will continue to discuss with relevant ministries and other partner countries. There is a Korean saying that goes, "The ground hardens after rain." In 2015, MERS hit Korea hard. But the country overcame the crisis, and this experience helped Korea successfully fight COVID-19 in the early stages. As such, to successfully overcome the next health security crisis, we must strengthen the entire chain of the outbreak response based on the harsh lessons we learned from COVID-19. All member countries and delegations of international organizations, institutions, and NGOs who attended the GHSA Ministerial meeting call for action for the next phase of the GHSA after COVID-19. Let us bolster solidarity, strengthen mutual capabilities, and speed up our actions toward a future safe from infectious diseases. The 2022 GHSA Ministerial meeting will serve as a starting point. Thank you very much.
네, 고맙습니다.
Thank you very much. So the commissioner gave us the keynote speech, and she said that the healthcare security requires cooperation because no one country can handle this in a single-handed manner. And also for the healthcare cooperation, we have to have a proactive response. With that, we'd like to close the opening ceremony. Now we are going to have the group photo session. So for the group photo session, I would like to invite our VIPs. So one representative from each organization and country, please come up to the stage for the photo shooting session. Please follow our staff.
A representative of each country and institution. So we would like to have one representative from each country and institution. So please come forward.